Hi everyone, and welcome to Trains Are Awesome. Today is March 11th, 2022, and we're going to be talking about a Japanese train. But before we begin, I want to remind everyone that it was March 11th, 2011 when the terrible earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster happened in Japan. I was living in Japan as a kid when this happened, and so this day is a very solemn day for me. So please join me in remembering the lives that were lost, and reach out to me if you want to help out in any way. Now, March is also the time of the year in Japan where different railway companies update their timetables. Today we're going to be looking at the Odakyu railway line. This is a commuter railway line that leaves Shinjuku terminal in Tokyo and then travels through many suburban cities until it reaches the resort town of Hakone, very close to the famous Mount Fuji. Now, the Odakyu Railway is most famous for its Romancecar trains. Special limited express trains which are more comfortable to ride and skip a large number of stops but do require a surcharge. In fact, it was the first Romancecar back in 1957 that served as the technical foundation for the bullet train, which opened in 1964. There have been 9 different variations of the Romancecar since the 1950s, but this one, the 50,000 series, which started running in the year 2005, is perhaps the most iconic. This is known as the VSE, or Vault Super Express, and its design varies wildly from any other train in Japan. Unfortunately, after only 17 years of service, today, March 11th, 2022, is the very last day that you'll find the VSE in regular passenger service. And its unique design may be the reason for that. Let's take a look at some of the unique features of the VSE. So the most obvious feature is this front window. Passengers can actually get a front seat ticket and enjoy the views from the front or the back of the train. Where does the driver sit? Well, he sits behind that window upstairs and gets to his cabin via a ladder. Thankfully, the most recent version of the Romancecar, the GSE, continues to have this front row seat so passengers can still enjoy the panoramic views. The interior of the VSE had all sorts of cool features that made the passenger experience very fun. They had seats that slightly tilted towards the windows, there were skylights allowing people to look up at the sky, and there were private compartments. It was some exterior features that turned out to make the VSE an expensive train to maintain. Now, practically all Japanese trains have 2 bogies per car. One car rests on 2 bogies. But look at this footage of the Romancecar VSE and you'll notice that the bogie is shared with 2 cars. Now, this is a normal thing if you're used to riding the TGV in France or pretty much any modern commuter train in Europe. But for Japan, you don't find this technology anywhere else. On top of that, these bogies were tilt-enabled, letting the train tilt into curves to improve passenger comfort. Now, there are a few other trains in Japan that use this technology, but it's still pretty rare, and so only 2 of these sets were ever made. Add to that the fact that the cars on the VSE were much shorter than on this MSE train, for example, because of those shared bogies. I think Odakyu just decided after 17 years that having only 2 trains that were technologically so much more complicated than their other trains just wasn't financially worth it anymore. To us rail fans, however, the VSE will always remain an iconic train. If you liked this video and would like to see train trip reports from Europe and from the United States, please consider subscribing to Trains Are Awesome. Our next video will be on Sunday, and we hope you'll be watching.